Yes. What's up, dog? And so I had I wanted to be did I design that so that I really I know. Oh, good. I'm so glad.
Because then you can get all the attention.
That's what I love. Yeah.
You know, if you know there's moments in the child's life where you felt like you were in those moments when you're
Talking about spirit, that one shot, I remember this one years ago.
I know.
okay. Saying a lot of people and then it's a workshop. So what's up?
I wonder if I ever brought your
That particular like if you could
Michael, nice to meet you. I hear all these great things. Catherine is beautiful. We just be like, give it all about being here. She. Yes, we did.
once in a while, specific time, like for this 20 minutes.
Do it!
Well, I think I wasn't in my body enough to get a lot of it. Every time I come
Probably be like that for the same class.
Right now.
So, no.
Actually, that would be good. Whatever level. Yeah.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah. And if you make it to the Friday, we keep yeah, move it to those. Now it's called yeah. That would be a good shit. Take
Yeah.
So much so that she asked me when I asked her, she loves
You know.
Okay, so these are your love notes. So yours is behind the scenes. Sharon said that they have agreements to How you doing, Martha? How you been? I'm glad. Yeah. Yeah. We made it that way without knowing what it
Who's on time?
Carolyn. I am.
Carolyn. Yeah.
5 minutes.
Five minutes. Especially if they have a favorite show. Have them pull out their and they gave you me see if they would be open to having you listen to that. Because these are not, they've never done relationships. I mean, if they're really enthusiastic, then you might try to pitch them on the spirit. Yeah, thank you.
I know. You like get worried when you like doing this. You just it's just my biggest physically organized. You feel bad. 2 minutes! Yes. What in the world happened? Program as well. This is Cheryl, my partner. Are there other peers that like you would know though when you go. Oh, I did know. I did know. Very amazing.
I was contacted. I didn't list.
So I thought how many years ago? 1 minute! All right. It looked like I was plugging in a person. Yeah, I plugged it in, and it makes money for me always.
Oh, I want to Love, I love you. Carolyn, I'm looking for Seth. I don't see him. Did he ever create? Seth, did you ever create the clipboards and pass around? Okay. I'm letting you know that if you have loved ones that are really interested in the awakening, there's going to be 2 days at the awakening when I can have a few guests. Last year, Sandra Mulbaum was a guest on Saturday when we did the Dream Makers process about the art and science of higher purpose. That's why she did the rest of the workshops that got her in the movement to mastery and awakening. So if you know people that are really open, then you want to, I'm going to pass around a clipboard from Seth, and if you have people that you would really like to be there on either Thursday for Parents Process or Saturday for the Dream Makers process, then you want to put their name down so that we can at least contact them and find out if they really want to be there. Okay? You can also contact them and see if they want to, but if they do, they have to contact me and pre-register. They can't just show up. Moroni?
What time is the Thursday and Saturday?
Thursday is about 9:30 till about 6:30.
It's all day.
It's all day. Okay? Saturday, same time. Great.
Will you have this on Skype or YouTube?
No.
No.
Actually, you know what? Oh, there's Gary.
What?
Can we set up Skype? Can we set up this camera system in Mapleton?
Yeah, we had it set up.
Okay, then let's set up Thursday and Saturday to be able to do so that somebody could do Skype if they're out of the country or out of the city.
Yeah.
Oh, you want Skype?
Well, whatever we
Google
do,
Plus.
YouTube or
whatever it's called,
Yeah, we can do Skype. We just need a computer.
or
No,
I don't care what the name of it is. I just care that somebody out of state can watch it.
Oh yeah, they can watch it.
If it's YouTube or I don't care.
Whatever you do here.
Is this a clipboard so that you can call, one of you guys is calling these people?
Yeah.
In
Leslie's
which case,
watching
don't
it
you
now.
want our names written down about who, like for instance,
I want the name of the person that we should contact to see if they think they're really interested. But I'd like you to contact them first
Oh.
to see if they would be open to that. They would like to come up and see like that, you know. And again, I don't think these are first-time guests. I think these are people that you've been talking to enough about it that they're starting to consider the idea. Michael?
I think what she's saying is, don't you want to have the person that we're going to contact and the participant's name next to it?
Oh yeah.
So we say, oh,
Yeah.
so-and-so
Yeah.
referred you.
That's Trista's friend.
Yeah.
That's Casey's friend. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
you. Appreciate it.
2 columns.
Okay. Who here is a participant in the awakening? Raise your hand. Good. Good. Have all of you reread your packet, your pre-course packet for the awakening?
Yes.
Yes.
Reread it.
I mean, read it. Read it again.
And when was that assigned to?
Huh?
I didn't know when was supposed to reread it.
Say it again.
I said, when was that assigned? And Rebecca said, it was in an email. And I said, I hate emails.
And Carol's been trying to call you to say,
Yeah.
well, when Carol gets back in the room, we'll ask her.
Okay.
She'll probably say,
I get phone messages. I'm good with phone messages.
I think she left for the evening.
oh,
She's gone.
okay, I just want you to know that for the last 2 weeks we've been asking Carol, how is the calling going for the awakening participants?
I didn't get a call.
Okay.
And I'm good with messages.
Why don't you call Carol?
She has
a Florida form.
And I'm just telling you the reason why, if you're in Marie, Misty, I'm sure it's a lovely conversation. You'll have to come over there and slap you silly.
I don't know, we might like it.
That's true. Sounds like a line out of Monty Python. Slap me! Slap me! Okay.
Oh my gosh.
The reason why you want to reread your packet if you're in the awakening is not just for the information, but because of the way it will affect you subconsciously. Unless, and remember that unless you've already cleared with me, you've already agreed to and are required to attend the post meeting called Creating Your Reality. Okay? That is the Saturday after the Awakening Homecoming. I'll pass these around. I want you to remember that Creating Your Reality 1 and Creating Your Reality 2, the processes in the morning are similar because they're good setup, like strength showers and that kind of stuff. But the afternoon processes are very different than what you did in Creating Your Reality 2. And again, from the participant's point of view, it's about affecting you subconsciously and consciously on how do you present yourself and show up in the real world after you've been through an experience like the awakening. Like, for example, Mike Brown could only do phase 1 this year. Okay? So he's not going to be at phase 2. And I want you to know that he does not know right now what I know about how different that will affect him compared to the people who are in phase 2.
Last year, John Spears was like that in our group. He was doing the second week with us because the previous year he'd done the first week. Do they, when they are going through it during their second week, are they a little ahead of the curve of the people in there because they've had that year and they went before? I mean, do they get it?
That would depend on if they did move into mastery between the 2 phases.
And he did.
If he did, then yeah, you'd have an advantage.
Is there any advantage to having your second week a year later at all? Or is it just kind
There
of,
are advantages, but they don't outweigh the disadvantages. I would never recommend that to somebody, anybody I cared about.
Can I ask a logistics question? Because I did read through some of this my packet. It does not have a time on the 14th and the 17th, the Thursday through Sunday. What time are we supposed to be and where on Thursday?
We're going to let you know that Wednesday night.
No, I need to know it now. I've got other things that
I love you,
Okay.
Shayla.
Shayla, I'm going to tell you, but nobody else has to listen.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, you cannot show up any earlier than 8:30. You will probably be required to be there sometime between 9 and 9:15 or 9:30.
At the local lodge or here?
No, Thursday morning you're going to be at the lodge in Mapleton.
At 9:30?
Yeah.
Oh,
And you don't want to miss
that?
that.
Wednesday night you will be here.
Yeah,
Okay.
6:30.
Thursday morning you will drive to Mapleton and be ready to go, having already unpacked your bags and are ready in the course room, most likely by 9:30. It might be 9:15, but probably 9:30.
So on Thursday it starts in the morning at the lodge.
Yes, at the lodge.
Is there the option of driving there Wednesday night and sleeping there?
Nope. Not that I know of. You can talk to Laura and see if it's a possibility, but I don't know.
You can sleep at a tent.
Can we camp out in the backyard?
You know, actually, it might be possible. Talk to Laura. It might be possible because I know they had to rent the lodge in order to get everything set up. So talk to Laura. Text her. Just better with text than messages. Okay, I want to remind you for your friends and loved ones that you think you might want to get into the work, the very best prices on everything, including spirit, lava, awakening, and movement to mastery, are during that day, Creating Your Reality, the Saturday after the awakening. Like, I have people sign up for next year's awakening on that Saturday because it's the best price they'll ever get for the awakening, ever. I have people sign up for spirit, lava, movement to mastery, again, because it's the best price they'll ever get. You see.
Didn't you Kim signed up then, and didn't you say that they're the ones that get their slingshots pulled back to harvest?
Yep. Yeah, so in your awakening, Kim actually had quite an advantage. The longer you have before, from the time you sign up till the awakening, the more of an advantage you have. Huh?
Or rewind for yours.
I do. I win. I do win. So.
Yeah.
Okay, awakening phase 2. I hope it says this in your packet, because if not, I'm going to shoot somebody. But the homecoming is at 2 p.m.
It says 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
In the packet in the awakening?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so that's a mistake.
1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay, I want you to know that because we're in Mapleton and we need to drive back here, it needs to be 2 p.m. So you need to change the letters you've gotten, make copies of it. Matter of fact, let me ask you a question, okay? Let me ask you a question. I want to go by your feedback, okay? We need a certain amount of time at the lodge. It's going to take an hour to drive from there to here. Does it work for you to do 1:30, or would you rather have 2?
2.
2. Okay, good. So then change your letters that you send out to your loved ones to say 2 o'clock.
Yeah, because last year when we were driving back, there was construction traffic
Oh, that's right.
that
Right.
people got stuck in.
Right.
So is it still going to be 3 hours? So
Yes. Usually it's about 2.5, but we like to say 3 so they feel like they're getting out early.
let's just do 1. What's the matter with 1?
We can't do it because we need a certain amount of time at the lodge. It takes an hour to drive back.
Plus, Sheila,
Can you send
how
that
can our
back?
church blocks go until?
Let me write it down in my date timer to.
Because if you send me that document, change it, and then it won't have like scribble marks on.
Tomorrow, I will send it to Gary, who will send it out to everybody.
Good job, Gary. We'll put it on the Facebook page.
What is that? I mean, they can download from the Facebook page an attachment.
Is it the pre-course packet or is it what?
Invitation.
The invitation,
Oh, the invitation.
homecoming, which is part of the pre-course
I
packet.
want a pre-course packet. Can I have one?
Probably download one.
Please.
Okay, from anybody who's been through the awakening, I will take 1 share per process that I discussed. Okay? Here's how phase 2 of the awakening goes. Okay, I want you to know that for phase 2 of the awakening, or for spirit, or for lava, or the workshops where mostly awakening grads do them, right? Like on the first day of the awakening, you guys have no idea how hard I had to work my cute little facilitator buns off in order to actually get the space to go from what the heck did I sign up to being blissed out of your mind by the time the first full day of the awakening was over. You know what I mean? The first level of awe. I have to work really hard. I use almost all the 100 techniques that are in the trainer's manual. You know, for Pinnacles of Presentation, your manual, they had 22 major categories. I had to use virtually all of those techniques to get you guys to be that high, okay? But in phase 2, because you've already been through phase 1, creating space is like taking a match and throwing it in a pool of gasoline. Space.
Good intention.
You know? So I just want you to know, the first night when you come here is all about safety and creating safety for your awakening, and you'll love it. The second night, the second day, is 2 levels of awe in 1 day, the parent's essence process and the connected breath. Is there anybody who's already done the awakening that would like to talk about, share about the parent's essence process? Moroni!
Come on down. You're the next contestant on share in front of the camera.
Portia! That's what I was looking at.
Well, at least Leslie is watching like this.
So,
In front of the whiteboard.
okay. A little to the right.
I went through the parents process a year before I went to my awakening, and I got so jazzed by that process and started healing stuff I didn't know that I had. And I formed a totally new relationship with my father, and I understood exactly who he was and why I chose him to be my father. It was amazing. I got to pull my string back as far as I could because I signed up that year before and went through that process in that second phase the year before my awakening.
As a guest.
As a guest. And when I finished my awakening, as the ones that were here when I went through mine, I was able to forgive myself for something that I thought was really unforgivable. And I got the forgiveness from the person that I did it to. I was thank Gary every day for that honor and that privilege to get that much forgiveness and that much growth from that experience. And the parents' process kicked it off for me.
Good job, acknowledge. Do you mind if I share with them about what happened in your breakthrough? Because he has access to the spirit world, you know, he can access beings in that realm. His breakthrough with his father in his breakthrough process was off the charts. And his father was so excited. They keep interrupting. His father was so excited to be able to come to his breakthrough and explain why he did what he did, and shared even why he named him Moroni.
I was in Moroni's group, and you know, I had the perception that all breakthroughs were just intense and, you know, super emotional.
Yeah.
And I was so grateful to be there with Moroni because it was this huge party.
Oh, yeah.
None of us have laughed so hard. I mean, people would walk, assistants would walk in the room to check on us, and we would just start laughing. And we over and over again, like forever. Way after the breakthrough was over. It was awesome.
I remember the people downstairs in the main room, every once in a while they hear you guys laughing your buns off, and they look up like, what the heck are they doing? It was great, acknowledge.
I don't want to take a lot of time on that, but I was also in the room for Moroni's breakthrough, and near the end of it, like the last 35 or 40 minutes, that whole, like, everybody in that room was on a whole different plane, a different realm than everybody else. In fact, I remember when you walked in, and it was like, are you guys on drugs? And I think you even asked, like, oh, has Laura been using her special oils, you know? And it was like, no, this is organic, as natural as it gets, divine communication that just fills you with bliss, and she's spot on. Every time anybody came into the room, they didn't get it. So it was just hilarious, you know, the look on their face, and if they could only tell that we were just being completely surrounded by what seemed to my ignorance as thousands of Moronites ancestors having an outrageous party that was just so much celebration and bowing at his feet, groveling at his feet, that he was so courageous to face up and do it. And it was overwhelmingly blissful. It was great. It was so cool. That's how I really felt.
So basically, it'd be the sharp stick in the eye. Okay, the connected breath, because after parents and you're high as a kite from that, then you go have a break and you come back and you do connected breath. And by the way, hallelujah, Lori's well enough that she'll do it again this year.
Okay. Is Brad going to do the drums with her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, connected breath, like I said, in any other environment is great, but at the awakening, it is off the charts. Huh?
What is it?
Oh, connected breath. It's really simple. Everybody lie down on sleeping bags, okay? And then basically you do this, okay? That's all you do. And after about 20, 30 minutes, it connects the two halves of the brain. And people have a variety of experiences. The very least you'll have is a sweet experience of unconditional love. But some people go back to when they were kids and they have an experience remembering something. Some people go back to when they were born. Some people go back to the spirit realm. Some people see faces of millions of people that they're going to heal. Teenagers, see their life. I mean, it's off the charts. And so anybody from another awakening want to share about their connected breath experience?
Actually, I want to say this. Don't think what your experience has to look like.
Yeah.
Please go in without an expectation.
Open-minded.
Yeah. And don't let anyone tell you what you have to do. I found I wanted to be, we had the big racket room and everyone was piled in there. I wanted to be in a room by myself. And it made a big difference being in that space by myself.
And they let you.
They did. And no one told me I had to, when I started asking, because at first I was scared to ask if you want to be in a space by yourself or if you want to be in a quiet space. Because it makes a big difference. If you walk in with selling out, you're going to sabotage the experience.
Yeah.
And because I honored that I had those feelings and I had those questions and I asked them, I had a phenomenal experience. And I really got clear on some things that I had lied to myself about God and my relationship with Him, and I just had an experience where I understood what the truth was all along, and it made a beautiful, beautiful difference. And then when we did it here for Spirit, it just went to another level, and I was able to honor how I wanted to do it, the way I wanted to do it, and then it gave me the experience, even though it initially had pictures and expectations, but because I honored what I was feeling and the questions I had, it made a difference.
Good job, acknowledge. One of my favorite during connected breath is when someone elderly from the Midwest who's never been in a workshop, right? First time, right? And they come out and they say, I saw the face of God. That's my favorite. Because they walk around for hours. Okay, Saturday, Dream Makers is, by the way, is my personal favorite. The only one I love more than Dream Makers is in the Spirit Workshop called The Creation of the Physical Universe, which is about the power of infinite progression. And Dream Makers will teach you the single most powerful tool for manifesting your personal visions, which is the art and science of higher purpose. As long as your life is about my life, you are missing so much leverage. Most people are like on the edge of a river, and they keep, if you watch your life, you'll notice that you deal with the same patterns, the same problems every few years, because they keep eddying out year after year after year. The moment you make your life about something bigger than my life, like a higher purpose, you start to move downstream. You start to really move in your life. And the closer you get to the center of the river, the more you are oh, Dominic, would you do me a favor and sit over on that couch so she can lie down if she needs to? She's feeling a little bit ill. Okay. The closer you get to the center of the river, the water is the clearest and the deepest and the fastest. And for those of you who can hear this, as you get closer to the center of the river, you don't have to go looking for the people and the resources that will catapult your vision. They come to you. And I have an experience of this personally lately because abundance for me is imminent. And I'm very clear on what has brought that to me. And it's in this process. So who wants to share from last year? Mike?
So 12 years ago.
Yeah.
12 years ago, not all the more years ago.
Thanks for making me feel older.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whiteboard. We have people watching.
So,
There's a
Camera's
camera.
oh, okay. Where? Oh, good.
It's fine.
Okay.
No money.
So 12 years ago, when I went through the Awakening and then Dream Makers, I was this accountant and IT guy that was way up in my left brain and related to people, or didn't relate to people from there. And in these processes that happened, I got in my right brain, and you can see it in the pictures, the Awakening pictures. You see this shift. You can see this guy that everybody else in the circle like, right, for the first time. And then we get to this Dream Makers thing, and it's about service. I'd already done everything in Landmark and been in the Introduction Leaders Program and all that. For those of you know, right? So I knew about service, but now it wasn't just service, but I got who I came to be, the healer that I was. And Gary gave me the gift and the confidence to actually go out and create my own workshop and my own stuff that I do, and to give that gift. So for me, Dream Makers was getting my dream, getting who I was in a big way, getting in my body, getting related to people, and being the gift that God asked me to come and do. So that's all I got out of it.
So Saturday night, in the middle of the night, is the farewell process. And you will imagine that you've had a year lived, then 6 months, then a month, then a week, and you will say goodbye to the most important people in your life. And if you've been through the relationship course, you have a little tiny taste of that. This is much more than that. And when you come out of it, you look like saints, because as we get down to the last day of your life and the last few hours, and you begin to look at your life from that point of view and that perspective, after you've said goodbye to all the people you love the most, then we will use special effects to simulate that you go into the spirit room. And people have some amazing experiences that make you think maybe it wasn't just a visualization. My favorite for every homecoming is, every death process, farewell process, is like when a dad has like some of their children in the room, and this is typically somebody who's not really good at saying things like "I love you," and the way I ask them to share after the farewell process is I ask them to take whatever they experienced and put it into a declaration.
Oh, I love you so. Especially you and you and you and you and you, love.
Yay! Of course you love me. So the dad stands up and says things. He turns around to his kids and he goes, "Every day of your life, I'm going to remind you how much I love you. Because I've hardly ever said it to you, and you deserve it every day that you're alive." That is a powerful process. Anybody want to share who hasn't shared about the death process? Casey?
The death process was truly profound. Having a conversation with one of your kids, like you're saying bye, I was able to make that real. In my mind's eye, that was a real, I was saying bye to everybody I loved. And when my 7-year-old was in front of me, that's what it took to get it. I got it, that I finally got it, that I've been taking advantage of everyone and every day and every moment for nothing. For nothing. Using everything around me to distract myself from everything around me. And the special effects that you experience the only words that come to my mind at all is like rebirth or second chance. It was the first time that I thought maybe I actually can be a good dude. I can be a good dad. I know I'm here to be a good dad, but that was the first time that I felt like I was gonna be a good dad, that I was gonna step up, and I have, and it's amazing. Before it was always all when they're older and can relate with me, you know, and after that it was no, I love you, and you need to know that because I'm not complete knowing that you didn't hear from me that I love you, you know, and it's changed everything. I mean, that process has changed everything. I've healed relationships with, you know, like my stepmom. We didn't talk for a couple of years, and I believe that healing is a result of that, and that's a year and a half later. You know, it's so beautiful, so powerful.
Good job, acknowledge. I can only take one share per process. I'm sorry. I will say about the farewell process that over the years I've had people write to me and say, my dad is dying. Is there any way I could get that? So I created a version of it for that situation. And I've had many people over the years who had somebody that was dying but still alive. And they did a version of the farewell process with the family. And one family in Santa Fe called me up and said everybody who was there saw a light come into the room. No one will ever forget it. You know?
Gary, can I acknowledge Casey? Or?
Yeah,
Yeah,
acknowledging.
that's what I wanted to do, was acknowledge. I just remembered how you came to the awakening and what your breakthrough was like, and the different things that came up for you in the breakthrough, and how much you wanted so much to really believe that you could be a good dad, and that you didn't. You were scared to death that you were just going to fail and never be a good dad. And now it's so different. I'm looking at you and I've forgotten that. And you are a good dad. Like, you believe it, you know it, it's somewhere in there, and you're like, yeah, I make mistakes, I'm not perfect. But you're not scared of it anymore. You're not scared of not being a good dad so much that you're running away. And now you're like really here and you want it, and every day you're just giving it, like giving what you can to it and learning, and it's beautiful. Like, I just want to acknowledge you for the huge leap you've made. It's so incredibly inspiring. So, and like moves my heart. Thank you. Yeah.
Good job, acknowledge. Okay, I think most of you have heard the story about Randy and Johnny and the homecoming, and how, you know, back in the day when we did the awakening as a week-long thing, on the first day he heard me talk about how if there's somebody that you want at the homecoming, you want to hit the mark at 100%, because you're going to see miracles all around you. And if you don't go 100% and don't hit the mark, it's going to haunt you that they might have been here and been part of all this miracle that's happening. So Randy was so, you know, him and his dad were so stressed and strained that he ran away from home when he was 15, because he said he didn't have a father, he had a jerk that lived in the house, you know. And so then he calls him up 3 times, never talks to him, just leaves him messages. I know you're out of state. I know that we've had a strained relationship. And this is just a graduation. It just means a lot to me. And so, of course, he shows up. And he's your typical military man who doesn't talk, doesn't cry, doesn't share. And, you know, because of the parents' process and his breakthrough and the death process, Randy got it. And so he stood up during the homecoming and he opened up his arms and he said, Dad, I just want you to know it's time for you to have a touchdown. When I was a kid, you were my hero. And then when I realized you had hang-ups, I realized that I started doing everything I could to torture you so that you would change back into my hero. And I just want you to know that you did your job. I turned out. Time for you to have a touchdown. His dad comes running up to the front of the room, gives him a hug. The crowd goes wild. Guess who does the next awakening? His dad. And he's first night of the awakening, he's talking about his peak experiences. He's volunteering to be one of the people in front of the room And he opens up by saying, the best day of my life was that day at the homecoming when I got my son back. Anybody want to share about the homecoming? Seth?
I I've shared a bunch of times about my experience of the awakening and
Louder?
Louder, much louder. Right in front of the room.
yeah. I've shared quite a few times about my experience of the awakening and how moving and beautiful it was. But the homecoming was so dramatic to me in a moment where my stepdad was there, and he was always kind of like Brad, you know, loving, friendly, you know, really supportive, and I was an ass a lot. And I fought with my brothers all the time. And then I got it that I was doing it because I wanted to express love. And I wanted to be loved, and that's why I was being violent with my brothers. And then I did the death process, and I got really committed to never having that again. And the homecoming process was the first day I got to interact with the people who had been hurting in my life for a very long time as a very bad expression of the love I wanted to give them. And on this day I was able to come and express the love that I had been wanting to express for years to each of them in a very healthy way, that we could all understand the love, express it, and enjoy it. If you have anyone you love, bring them to this.
Thank you. Acknowledge. So as quickly as I can, I want to just remind you about a couple of things with agreements so that you can get into your small groups and prepare for your Breakthrough Saturday. Yeah.
I'd like to share about a mistake I made at the homecoming. My husband does not like any attention on him, and so I thought I was doing him a favor by not acknowledging him. And I see now what a huge mistake that was, and how much, you know, just like the greatest key to influence, when you choose to hold back and not share what you see with someone, you are doing them a huge disservice. So just to share, in case any of you, you know, have family members like that, and you think, oh, I don't want them to be embarrassed or whatever, or so. Anyway, I think that can help someone.
Thank you very much. Okay, for Movement to Mastery people, if you're behind on money or your agreements, you want to definitely talk to Charlotte so that she can let me know what's going on with you, okay?
Do we have a raise of hands who that might be?
Is there anybody in the room that's behind on money? Carlos, Sandra.
Okay.
Great.
Jones?
If you're out of integrity or behind on things like phone buddy calls or having somebody call KC, Charlotte says that you're out with calling her on your
I need your
monthly.
number.
I haven't called her in probably 2 months.
I need your number.
Okay.
Casey, do you
So-
have the same phone number? Oh, okay.
Good. So let me know when it's over what you can do to get back in the game. Good. I also would like you to look at how that relates, like how that's a pattern, or how does that relate to other things in your life? Okay. Water balloon at the park. Who is in charge of scheduling that?
I think we were going to schedule it tonight, weren't we?
You're going to schedule it
last
tonight?
time we were supposed to schedule it when we had the guests from Pinnacles here.
Okay.
Well, let's schedule it tonight.
Then tonight, before you get into your Breakthrough Saturday prep, no, let's do it after you get done with Breakthrough Saturday prep. Before you leave tonight, schedule.
Are we all leaving at different times though?
Well, then do it at 9:45, and if some of you want to stick around longer, you can do it after that. Okay? Okay. Gee, Charlotte, I want to give you time, but I'm out of time. Can I have them talk to you individually about their goals and stuff?
Sure. Can I just do a 30-second deal?
Yeah, do a 30-second deal.
Guys, you have about 2.5 months left of your program, and I really...
Up front, we haven't seen you in months.
I'll come back. You guys have about 2.5 months left in your program, and I really want you to come and get what you came for. I know your goals might have changed and shifted. I really encourage you to look at what would you like to set for now until your graduation, October 19th, and put it into 2 bite-sized 30 days goals and get it clear, because I really want you guys to have the touchdown. This is not the time to give up and say, I'm tired. This is the time to really come and get what you came for. Yay.
I really want to acknowledge you as a group because you've done excellent. You've done really well, much better than previous teams. And I just want you to know that it's easy at this point to kind of like throw in the towel, but you want to end strong. You know, when you're coming around the bend on the last quarter mile of the track, you know, that's when you want to kind of sprint, just for yourself. And a lot of grads will tell you that they didn't really get how valuable this program was, sometimes for a year or 2 or 5 years after the program. Okay, so Breakthrough Saturday Prep, in a moment you're going to get in your small groups. Does every small group have a topic? Everybody? Good. Have you divided up who's going to do what phase?
Yes.
Everybody? Good. Okay, then you can go into your Breakthrough Saturday groups. The guests are welcome to stay and hang out with one of the groups, or you can take off. You don't need to stick around if you don't like to. Okay? Good. Go ahead. Get into your groups. You have about 45 minutes to keep working on your Breakthrough Saturday.
What about the part, Gary? Gary? What about the part?
They're going to schedule that when they get done. At 9:45, they're going to schedule.
Plural.
You can tell me what to do.
There's 2 of us right here.
One of them's not as, yeah, there's 3 of us here.
Where's our group?
Is there somebody else?
I'm almost.
I would actually say okay? Oh, sure. Yeah.
Your body always speeds up. Okay, so okay, so let's just start.
I don't have to be there. I can just make arrangements. I can come by and look at
And that's what I really do too. You remember the old ways of like prison into
I got it. And weekends are okay too, depending on what works for you.
See,
I
what I
want
want
to
to
do
really
for
want to, if I remember
And if we can't, if it's only every other Tuesday, can we try to squeeze another
So
time?
I'm not sure.
Do our best.
What times are you going from? Is registration?
To be honest,
I got it.
okay.
Yeah,
I never lived after that. I've done all of the awakening.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
And it's, I mean, it's uncomfortable, but it gets people like loosened up. Physiological way to get into the body. And is that what you're looking for? Doesn't that be great in starting the workshop? Like maybe not the first thing,
Going to Lord.
Back at Harrison.
Hey,
Harrison.
So these are like right?
I have more every year. And now I've got
That's great. What was the name of the workshop?
5
Play it 100%. So
Yeah.
I think so. That's why
Oh, they really get a lot more fire to me.
At 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock.
You might have.
Like another girl. No, last time there was. Yes, right? Yeah, okay. We're playing at 100% celebrate.
But I wouldn't mind that.
So there's several possibilities. It's not like, I don't know what you want.
You told me about it. You told me about it. I'm a lawyer.
Yeah, the lawyers.
So it'll take some time.
I don't know how old you are. It's not certain. It's certain. Some people look at
But your lawyer doesn't know that it will work out in the favor
Something along those lines, and then we go in
$4,000 city. Opens for you. Secures your voice. Opens all the way.
So
It's crazy.
More snow than
So
So that's a body exercise. It's not just your however.
Hello, how are you doing? I did that. Thank you. I did
Small, like not so big, but it's interactive.
Well, I've already done my work.
Maybe go one or just both of those real estate they were being so you fit the space. Just think of how great space.
Well,
Special exercise at the beginning.
And then when you sell it,
Compliment. Like, it's so great to see you. Yeah.
So what we're doing, we're keeping ourselves in.
Yeah. Okay. So then we'll do the one-on-one person compliments, and then we'll go into platform. That's the start of your Oh, am I in charge? I didn't. I thought I was in charge of number 4. Because I have my myself there. Yes. Okay. So I'm excited.
With all the drums, so we just collapse it all into process.
Okay. I'll start out and do the acknowledgements, welcome here. Okay.
We set the bar pretty high.
Kind of an introduction.
The way I do it.
What is the ignite your life? And then select your so that's like it, and then after that,
Wherever we go,
yeah, so after they just straight showers, then does he do that? No, I'm just some people.
So that's the arena.
Yeah, and I just put one-on-one comment. Yeah, so I'm gonna introduce.
Yeah, that's how that's really good.
If you want to play if you want to play more challenging or you can say
Yeah, but you know, and we can also say, why don't you compliment someone, and they'll, I think humans just automatically want to connect with people, so they'll talk more than just, like, hey, your hair looks nice, and then go on. I think that they'll more so, like, you know, like, okay, your names, you know, and try to get to know someone, so maybe a share isn't a bad, like, I don't know, doing and they're describing themselves. Yeah, we just have that. I like these eyes.
Your social security statement. I voted on this almost a month ago.
Isn't that that's another whole thing.
Right, like it's
Have you ever heard?
Because what happens is,
his parents were in the war.
with the hardest experience where you get to be someone else and then you do aspects of the job that you were back then. With that, it's like you know, it's so many times. No, yeah, so I love it. Hey, can you? Our workshop is on playing. Just license. I don't want you to
I'll be back next week.
and then if I have no content what's your favorite music?
This is not a hard exercise at all. You can see I put it in
This weekend.
Yeah, it would.
and because it's all on the
Yeah, that makes me. And I can schedule time.
then
Day or two.
you're gonna do almost the same way you were on.
Yeah.
And then
Well, we'll be here. Then we'll go up to that one. Well, I might go up after we go, but I'll just be up there to share.
Yes, yes.
Well, if I actually
Why I like it, because I like that I know that I have been working and see that my parents and I I can use it so they can come together and be one instead of fighting. I mean, that's why I like it. Yeah. So that's exactly, you know,
the ones that all
myself responsible and it's done. It's just like a part of myself.
that's something
It's just oh, people start planning.
And then get on with it.
She only has these four stores. That's something that you know.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I'm sorry. Like one thing.
We're running over first.
I just think about my mom. Which I'm doing is providing. I'm just proud of my mom, but I just think about her. I mean, I've heard of things like this, so if we all of a sudden started out with that, it sounds like a book. She had like a line there. Yeah, what is this? Yeah. Yeah. You want to get them cool. But I think that when you stand up and share what we're doing here, our intention of this is and then for her, I think that's a great idea. I asked you.
Yeah, I know.
No, I think we share less. Hey, I gotta go. All right, time for break.
But in thinking about it,
well, we just started, well, number 2. Yeah, we're on number 2. Well, that's very nice. When they're everybody that comes that's what we want to do. So that's what my first question is. And really enjoy our people very interesting conversation. So open. I'd love to say so if everyone wants to do that, we can do that. So maybe we should do one together and read and decide what you like. I know you have that written down, so what I'm asking you to do we're just trying to help give suggestions of what we're doing in that. So we're just kind of bouncing off ideas and brainstorming and, you know, like that and then they kind of do what they want to get your reservation. We actually go and that's what I was thinking. So we know what it is. Right. Yeah. No, this is just a guideline of what's in. So yeah, that's what we'll do. And that's what I have in mind is that we'll start with it. And the second, I start the starting of the workshop, and we'll brainstorm stuff. You guys can do it, and It's just so that we're all on the same page. And right, and those were just suggestions. See, that's what I'm in charge of. And we got out to us, we talked about it. Okay, that's what I do. Yes, we're just brainstorming ideas of whatever goes on. All of their
Right, and so yeah, you can share. And then I but I just want to say, when I was first being that I we had to, what time is it? Two cars. I came from Cameron where and so like I would go to Friday hard day to Rebecca she is amazing. She has just like so it's down so I and then the group felt like yeah, we carried shares on and then that's just the idea. Yeah, and there's later. People need to do that. We went through it last week, everyone has one, and if we need to change it or whatever this week, we can just take it out and
Oh, good.
So what do you see?
I never got you to now. I want to see how she was so amazing. I don't let her lie to you. Yeah, I'm not going to come back on time
when they highly recommend her to get
And I would think that's a bad idea to have more than one person on each.
Yeah.
And if you end, if you end early.
I would have someone to do it hard. Maybe have one person not in charge. Well, yeah, in charge. Yeah.
Okay.
Whether those people, fair enough.
I go like maybe we need to clarify. I'll just tell you guys what I have on my paper. Yeah. So I have the starting workshop. Tristan is the leader. And then there was me who was gonna help. And then now you want to grab that. Yes. And that's okay. I'm really waiting to start this.
One song without words.
I'm okay with that. Okay. Well, I don't see a paper. I already marked it off. Okay, and then, so for the old one, I have myself and Sandra, and then, just always, but was that the last one, yoga? No, I was
That's what I was.
Okay, and then, so you're right and that's what I was going to talk about, is maybe getting a low frequency. So she said that that's what I thought. So maybe she wanted the leaders in charge of the breakthrough. And there's something that the leaders understand. And you can help with that. And I talk about the 200%. Okay, let's, we'll come back to that one. Will you? Yeah. Okay, and then me, you're on the apron. Yeah. And then Maria again, why don't we read it out loud? I'm sorry,
There's a little process that you do to understand.
Like, I want to know, wait, let's finish going off track. And then the top phase that you're going to have on the problem. Well, the completion phase, everybody does, right?
So, no, we have that.
I asked
She's in charge. So whatever you design, that's what she's going to do. So you can say like,
I don't believe so. I thought that was about empowerment dialogue. No. So the empowerment dialogue is right after the breakthrough and before you go. So then we'll do the empowerment dialogue, then we'll all come back together, and then we'll do it again. Okay? And then what is the good? So we don't have that. And that was just, remember you're mixed up talking your dialogue.
You're next.
Okay, we'll do it. So it'll be done right before you leave. Yeah. Because that, and I don't want to be right right out. So take a look, have fun together. I'm how we're gonna do that. Okay, so can I ask you what's the completion? It says
It works. Try it out.
And then the follow-up is It was at my house. We
End the meeting.
You have about 7 more minutes and you can stay as long as you want to.
I feel very slow.
Okay.
I would love to help. But not like. Not me.
So somebody needs to set it up. By the way,
I guess that's what I'm trying to practice.
I'm not.
every week, that'll be a problem. What is it? I'll be good. Like on your page.
Because, like,
So, we used to
that's why we want to make it over to the house and mix it up.
Second night.
It's authentic. Yeah, let me tell Times Square and stuff. That's fabulous to go with it.
Good, but it's not as much rubbing our noses as much as giving them permission. Theological and always is more like rubbing the dog's nose.
Would you stay out there just a little longer?
Yeah, to go visit. Yeah. No, I thought it was a bummer. You think it's a bummer? No. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I know. And actually,
So two people in this or you lose space. Okay, we end up having who's on the same thing. I am in the so they're gonna have to have bodies. That's right. I'm not surprised about that. A lot of people were very sad. At least in my area, I don't know how. Well, I mean, I've said that we didn't give yeah, exactly.
What's possible?
That's pretty advanced.
No, is it okay if we visualize the whole thing?
That's so that's an idea, but well, hold on, let me finish.
What's possible?
Your next step is to you overlap the outline. You never have to make a bad decision. How your 20 minutes will look.
Cheryl?
I think that's since you said this.
1,001. I'll be headed for the kitchen to find
I'm not sure. I was like, I don't know.
Oh, we have reading on data, way of
lays everything out like this is the way the world works.
You want another one? It's good. Two of them. Get the CDs, get them sent to you. It's good as days. The other half. It's the How a Woman. Emotional teacher called a Woman. Very good. What did you see?
Okay, this is what I've got, this is what I've seen, and I'm gonna do let's do that. So actually, you're recommending now that I've got that. Let's try and push it and then let's look at our meeting and come back and tell each yeah, she felt very
I wasn't aiming for